Here is my conceptual model of how biology, culture, and environment all influence the health outcome of cardiovascular diseases, also called heart disease. Cardiovascular disease is a broad term which is used to describe diseases related to the heart or blood vessels. This includes conditions and problems such as congestive heart failure, stroke, high blood pressure, and cardiac arrest. Biology, culture, and environment are independent variables which influence the dependent variable cardiovascular disease. I am going to start by talking about how biology plays a role in this disease. One independent variable that plays a role in heart disease is genetics. Genetic factors have some role in heart disease. For instance, someone with a family history of heart disease is more likely to get it themselves, and the risk for heart disease increases more when in conjunction with cultural aspects like unhealthy lifestyle decisions, bad diet, and exercise. Another independent variable is race and ethnicity. Individuals from a specific race or ethnic group may be more likely to develop certain cardiovascular diseases. For instance, in 2013, heart disease was the leading cause of death for non-Hispanic whites in the U.S. Age also plays a role in this health outcome. Older individuals have a greater risk of heart disease than younger ones. Another independent variable is culture, which has a huge impact on one's health. Part of culture includes one's socioeconomic status, which affects a person's ability to make their health a priority. Maybe someone can't afford to take time off work in order to visit a doctor and get a health checkup. Maybe they don't have transportation to go to a clinic. A person may not be able to afford medications which would help control their high blood pressure. Cultural factors which influence cardiovascular disease also include diet and exercise. Some cultures may place more of an emphasis on being active and walking everywhere, and may even have mandatory exercise programs as part of the school curriculum. Diet plays one of the most important roles in one's health, and greater consumption of healthy foods such as vegetables, fruits, and whole grains may reduce risk of heart disease. A culture in which smoking is considered a norm will have higher rates of heart disease than a culture where smoking is rare. Another factor that influences cardiovascular disease is environmental conditions. The environment that one is a part of can have an influence on that person's risk of getting a form of cardiovascular disease. Over time, the constant exposure to harmful environmental agents such as pollution in the air or radiation will negatively affect a person's health. For instance, an individual who breathes in dangerous chemicals and air pollutants every day or on a constant basis will be much more likely to develop health problems and have a weakened immune system and overall health, which increases the likelihood of that person getting some form of cardiovascular disease. Access to food also has to do with the environment one lives in. In areas where junk food is prevalent and easily accessed, the residents are more likely to make unhealthy food choices, which contributes to a greater risk of heart disease. For example, I once visited a rural area, and the only grocery store in the entire town had a small selection of fruits and vegetables, but a lot of variety in their highly processed foods, such as chips and soda. The consumption of these foods is clearly going to negatively affect one's health. The environment one resides in certainly makes one more susceptible to getting heart disease if that environment is unhealthy. An area with less health resources, such as one that lacks a primary care doctor, is going to put individuals with health problems, such as cardiovascular diseases, at a greater risk of not getting enough medical care. Overall, as you can see from this model, biology, culture, and environment all work together and influence cardiovascular disease. Thank you for listening.